This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is the latest gun for Borderlands 3. No, but it kind of looks like it, doesn't it? This is the Dyson V11, the latest of their cordless stick, pretty darn smart vacuum cleaner, so it's rechargeable, battery powered, right? So with the Dysons, the V8 came out in 2016, and it was pretty darn rad for the time. It was fairly powerful, very nimble, as cordless vacuum cleaners go. It was powerful anyway. So then they came out with the V10 just last year, and that one changed the design. It has a design similar to this, and it was more powerful, which was cool, and that was nice. And then really quickly they came out with the V11. It almost makes you wonder if they should have just not bothered with the V10 and gone straight to the V11, because this one is a lot better. We're going to find out why now. So just to be clear, Dyson did not send this to us for review. When they released the V10, they decided to send V10s to every blogger and every YouTuber. I really don't know why. I think maybe it kind of undermined the legitimacy a little bit when they did that sort of thing. Anyway, this one is an outright retail purchase, just so you know. As always with Dyson vacuum cleaners, if you're not familiar with them, you get lots of parts, lots of accessories. That's kind of what makes them so good. Even with their upright vacuum cleaners, they do that. So it's a floor vacuum if you want. So we have the floor wand here that snaps in very easily. They all use the same universal attachment, which is the same as the older models like the V8 and all that sort of thing. They all fit on there. So you have the new Torque Drive cleaning head. This one's a lot like the one that came with the V10. It has adjustable gates, so you can adjust the suction. You can make it really strong by blocking the gates completely, or you can raise them. So a popular test with vacuum cleaner review channels is sucking up Cheerios. I don't know about you. I tend not to suck up Cheerios. I don't know. But anyway, that's what it's for. It's for the big items, or if you find it's actually sucking too strongly, which is actually amazingly a possibility with this vacuum cleaner. Also, this brilliant little piece of plastic here, this allows you to take attachments with you, which was a pain point before, because I'd go around doing the floor vac, and then there was some place I just wanted to vacuum a sofa or something, and I'd have to go get the attachment or try to stuff them in my pocket. They would fall out. So 2 attachments of your choice can go snap right in just like that. Oh, happy day. It's funny how the little things make such a difference. As always, if you want to interchange the bottom section here, say you want to clean drapes or something like that, yes, you can detach it from the Torque Drive head, attach this one right here, for example. This one would be a nice one for drapes, and voila. So you've got a distance cleaner. It attaches to the vacuum cleaner itself like so. Again, just for you folks who are not familiar with Dysons. So easy peasy stuff. So what they did here is basically a similar design to the V10, which has this in line, versus the V8 where the dirt bin was hanging down. This makes it a bit more bulky. If you're vacuuming inside a car, for example, I'll show you, inside of a fairly small car, it's a BMW 2 Series, it does still fit, but for those of you who need tight places. But the good thing is it made for a lot easier dirt cleanup. So when you want to empty the bin, you just grab this. It looks like a shotgun, pump action shotgun thing, right? You just do that. It's a little easier to slide than the V10 also. But you aim that into the garbage basket, and it actually goes where it's supposed to go, which is a good thing. With the V8, things could get a little bit messy in the V6, all the older models. So that's a good thing too. So just do that, you're all good, you're ready to go again. Obviously, you do have to take the attachment off the end first before you do that. Now, just like with the V10, there is only one motor filter. It's HEPA, it's sealed, and there are very technical vacuum sites out there who will show you that it's actually very well sealed. If you have allergies, if you have asthma, if you're super allergic to dust mites like I am, that's important. So it's not going to, while you're vacuuming, blow that stuff back at you. So there's just one post-motor filter here. And they tell you to wash it once a month. Use your brains. You can tell if it looks dirty, you give it a wash, and then you let it dry for 24 hours, and then you put it back on. But one of the really exciting things that sets us apart from the V10, besides the fact that it has 20% more suction according to Dyson, and in our tests sucking up dirt on hardwood floors and on rugs, it's true. And again, very technical vacuum cleaner sites who create suction boxes and all that sort of thing, like Vacuum Wars, will give you all the numbers if you want to see it for yourself. We have this on the butt end. Now this is the V11 Animal. This has an LED screen. That means LEDs light up behind these symbols. So you have 3 bars to tell you how much charge you have left. And you can switch between Eco mode, which is low power mode, Auto, which doubles as medium when you don't have that new Torque Drive head on it, and Boost mode, which is the super duper suction mode that's as powerful as many upright vacuum cleaners on the market. So that's pretty neat, little button to switch between them. Now, if you want to spend $100 more, there is the V11 Torque Drive model, as they call it. And that one has an LCD screen, just like you would have on your phone. So that one actually has a numerical readout that tells you how much vacuuming time you have left. So if you're really, really worried about such things, you're paying $100 more basically for that feature, and also for the addition of the soft brush, meant for cleaning like computer keyboards, that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm a bit, shall we say, frugal, so I decided I wanted to go with the Animal because I still get the indication of the battery right here, and I still have the same exact motor and controls. Auto mode, echo mode, boost mode, you get the idea. But the LCD is pretty cool because not only does it look nifty, but it can show you things like if there's a blockage, it'll show you where it thinks the blockage is with a picture on the screen. So yeah, that's kind of neat. It's kind of the future. Now that you see it on a vacuum cleaner, you think, well, gee, why didn't they always have that, right? Now, when it comes to figuring out blockages on this, because much of it is, well, obviously clear, it's usually pretty easy to figure out. I don't get blockages a lot with Dyson cordless vacs or the uprights, but I do tend to pick up the socks and those little dangerous things first. If you look at this roller right here, it's pretty much, you've got a clear window as to what's going on there. So there's not a lot of surprises, you know. You could get something stuck in here, though. One thing that's not included, at least not with the US editions, is Fluffy, the Fluffy tool, which is for the hardwood floors, the tile floors, that kind of thing, the soft roller brush attachment. This one's actually from the V8 Absolute that I had modified. I actually managed to glue on a triple LED headlamp because after reviewing the Tyneco Hero A10, which has built-in LEDs, I discovered how important that was for hardwood floor cleaning. But anyway, you could buy one of these separately. Note that these are interchangeable physically. They do work, and in terms of electrically speaking, because there are electrical contacts on these powered heads, they work too, but they have slightly higher voltages for the V11 version versus, say, for the V8 version of this. So it might spin a little slower, I don't know, whatever. So if you got one you want to keep using, I would say go ahead and go for it, but otherwise you can always buy the other attachments like this one from Dyson. So how much more does this suck with the more powerful motor design going on here, and with this, a whole lot more. You can feel it really clamping onto the floor at times, which is something that never happened with the V8, kind of sort of with the V10, but definitely here. It's pretty impressive. So how does it know when it's going from a hardwood floor to a carpet? Well, we've seen this technology in higher-end robo-vacs like the Samsung PowerBots. Basically, it has a resistance sensor. When the roller starts to feel more resistance like it would over carpet, it says, haha, you must be on carpet. So it ramps up the power. So what it's doing basically is it's running over hardwood floors and tile floors in the usual low power echo mode. And then when it senses carpets, it goes up to the medium mode. So medium mode is pretty good. It's my favorite mode for doing carpets. It's not like boost mode, which is the highest power mode. Yes, that's super duper crazy suction, but you also get less than 10 minutes of battery life doing that. Medium is kind of that happy balance. It's powerful enough to pull dirt out of plush carpet, even things like sand when we did deep dirt tests on it. But it doesn't kill the battery. Now, Dyson says that this will run for 60 minutes on a charge. And I actually found that using the non-powered hand tools, it actually went longer than that. It went about 70 minutes or so. But using this smart head on hardwood floors, it ran 60 minutes, which is pretty impressive. If you throw in the carpeted surfaces, you'll go down to between 30 to 35 minutes if you're doing a lot of carpets, mostly on that medium mode using the auto setting. That is still pretty impressive stuff, and where I consider 10 minutes and less pretty darn useless for vacuuming carpets in a house, a half an hour is enough for me, generally speaking, to do what I needed to do. Which is a good thing, because cordless vacuums have to be recharged, and this one has a bigger battery in it than they've used before. So it used to be, it was a 3.5-hour charge time. Now it's up to 4.5 hours to get a full charge on this, and it has an indicator on it on the butt again, so you can see how much charge it's got if you need to unplug it halfway through and finish up what you were doing. Now, one of the pain points, and Dyson actually lost their Consumer Reports recommendation because their vacuums had a lithium-ion battery, just like laptops and smartphones. You know, after a couple of years, they kind of need to be replaced. So it wasn't super hard to do that with the Dyson before, with like, say, a V8 or a V6. 3 screws, unscrew it. You can buy a new battery for 60 bucks or less and replace it. So Dyson, now that they've bought several high-end battery technology companies and they're actually getting into building electric cars, claims that this hybrid lithium-ion mixed with other metals battery is going to be good for 15 years. That sounds hard to believe, but hey, if it even goes 5, that's a vast improvement, so we'll see. Obviously, there's a charger that's included. It's pretty compact, and your usual wall mount. And this is a two-piece design because basically you can screw the wall mount in first, and this goes on top of it. This little box right here is your screw, so you can put it on the wall. You don't have to put it on the wall, but if you want to do that, can be convenient, obviously, and then you can attach two attachments to it as well. The idea with the Dyson and with all cordless vacuum cleaners is that you leave it charged in all the time when you're not using it. It's a smart lithium-ion battery. It's not going to overcharge it. That way it's always ready, and it goes through fewer full deep charging cycles, which will extend the life of the battery. You still have to hold the trigger when you use it. Now, some people are really bothered by this. I don't mind so much because it's such a light touch trigger that I accidentally trigger it at times, but yeah, you do still have to hold it. So how about noise? When you have more power, you have more noise, right? Going from the Dyson V8 to the V10, noise increased on that one. So I think Dyson probably heard all of us moaning about that, or they probably knew it themselves before they released it. So they worked on making this one quieter. So now the decibel rating of the V11 is about the same as it is for the V8, which is to say, as vacuum cleaners go, yes, it sounds like a vacuum cleaner, but not nearly as loud as an upright, and up to 8 to 10 decibels quieter than a V10. So here, this is going to get noisy for a minute. I'm going to let you hear what it sounds like. First, here's the V8, and this is on low power mode, not max mode. More high-pitched. And here's our V11. About the same, and you get that cool bwah sound when it finishes. So as you go through the three modes, we're going to go up to medium mode next. And then boost. So yeah, boost is pretty darn noisy. To compare it, here is max mode on a Dyson V8. So not as noisy on boost mode, but also not nearly as powerful either. So that makes sense, yeah? So when Dyson went from the V8 to the V10, which looks very similar to this, the weight really didn't change very much. But this time, this one is about a pound heavier than a V8. So keep that in mind. Because more of the weight is in your hand, your forearm is supporting it versus a upright vacuum cleaner that's always resting on the ground. Yeah? You'll notice the difference. I don't have a problem with it, but you know how you feel about such things, and if you've been using a V8 and found that was about as much as you could stand. Obviously, for things like curtain cleaning, doing this like that, this is going to be more tiring than this is going to be. Why is this heavier? Because of the bigger battery, mostly. So while we're talking about the two of these, you can still get the V8. In fact, it's a couple of $100 less money, and there are still good things to be said about this. The fact that it is smaller, it's got a more compact design on it, and did I mention again, it's a couple of $100 less. These are expensive products, so that comes in favor. And also, if you get the absolute model, you can get the fluffy attachment included, which is very nice if you happen to have a lot of hardwood floors. That said, this one really is just about there, replacing your upright or canister vacuum cleaner in terms of the suction power it has and the stamina it has. If you have a 2,000 square foot home, this should have enough of a charge for you to really do all the floors in that. The intelligent vacuuming head just really saves a lot of time. In fact, I find I don't use fluffy very much anymore because it's just so much easier to let the vacuum change the suction power, and that torque drive head works pretty well on both hard and on carpeted floors. So that's the Dyson V11. Again, in the United States, available in the Torque Drive edition or the Animal edition. Overseas, you have the Absolute, I believe. It gets a little confusing when Dyson does it. Anyway, assuredly, yes, it's their best stick vacuum cleaner yet. And assuredly, it should be, because the thing is darn expensive, isn't it? Like I said, if you're in the United States, go to Bed Bath & Beyond. Their 20% off coupons rock, and they actually will honor them for Dysons. But beyond that, it is the most powerful one yet. As somebody who does have allergies, occasional asthma, and pets, it is at the point where even for wall-to-wall sort of plushy carpeting, I would use this as my main vacuum cleaner most of the time. I still feel like I'd like to have that upright around for the once-a-month kind of deep cleans, but that says a lot. And the smarts in this make me happy that I personally skipped the V10 because, wow, particularly just that ability to transition from hard floors onto carpets and then back again, so you don't have to keep switching suction powers yourself or switching cleaner heads. It's just what you kind of wanted. They did all sorts of little things like that, though, like I said, including the attachment holder, finally, that goes on the main stick of the floor attachment. Pretty cool stuff. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more cool tech videos, and vax up if you like this vid.